Hello everyone. Let us talk about agriculture in India. Agriculture is by far the most important sector in the country because it employs 58% of the complete population. Also, it contributes 18% to the Indian GDP. Talking about the world, then in comparison to the world, so India stands third in terms of the net cropped area after USA and China. But still, there are some challenges faced by Indian farmers like lack of funds, lack of insurance, crop failures, lack of credits, input cost is very high, and the supply chain is not too as desired. So let us talk about all of these things. So talking about the history, then the at the in the pre-independence era, when the British used to rule and British used to control the agriculture of India, then the British used to focus more on the cash crops like jute, cotton, indigo. By these things, the fertility of the soil used to go down, and also the food security of India was in danger, and India was a net importer of food grains, and that is why at that time we can clearly say that the Indian agriculture was facing tremendous amount of problems. After independence, still we were dependent on other countries like USA. We used to import uh, tremendous amount of food grains from the US, and that's how we can say that at that time we were not able to achieve the food security. But when the USA leveraged its advantage of exporting the food grains to India by hand twisting India in various international forums, then the former Prime Minister of India, Lal Bahadur Shastri, set the aim that India should be secure. India should have some food security, so that it is not dependent on other countries on the ba- on the basic for the basic utilities of life, that is food. And that's how green revolution was started. Under green revolution, we all know that in the 60s and 70s, HYV seeds were introduced, pesticides, insecticides, and machineries were introduced, so that so that there can be more crop produce, and hence India achieved the food security. And not only this, India's India's net production of food grains hiked up to 5 times, and now India was not only food secure, but India was in food grain surplus. So this clearly indicates that the green revolution was completely a success. But after that, there still exist a lot of challenges in front of Indian farmers and the agriculture sector overall. Let us talk about them one by one. Number one is that the agriculture productivity is very low as we compare to countries like USA, China, Brazil. Then the per hectare produce is very low because there are some reasons to it. The reasons are like because there are small land holdings. So the average the average size of land that a farmer holds is about 1.15 hectares. That is very low. So this clearly indicates that the farmers are poor, and they are not able to buy big machineries, big new HYV seeds, which can expand the production. And also the other reason is that there are poor quality of seeds available in Indian market, and the irrigation facilities are not up to the mark. So due to all these reasons, the productivity is low because also 60% of the Indian agriculture is dependent on rainfall. Another challenges in front of Indian agriculture is that groundwater depletion has started, and it is depleting by an exponential rate because of the practices of irrigation through groundwater, tube wells, all these things. But and also we can see a classic example to this is that rice is grown in the water prone areas of Haryana and Punjab, where water is not much available because the rice crop require a lot of water, which is not available in Haryana and Punjab. But still, the groundwater is used there to grow rice. So, and this is causing a lot of groundwater depletion. This is also a challenge. But not only this example, but in many states, groundwater depletion is a challenge. Another thing is that insurance in crops is very low. In insurance penetration in agriculture sector is very low. Out of 100%, 7% of Indian agricultural land is insured. If we compare this to USA and China, then they are 80% and 60% respectively. So this is at least 10 times lower than these countries. And that is why when there is a climatic or any external factor that affects the agricultural produce, then the farmers had to bear the losses, and which is also increasing the suicide rate of farmers in India. Another thing is that mechanization is not there, because if we want to increase the productivity, then we have to employ the machineries and everything, and which is not possible because the farmers are poor and the funds are not with the farmers. Another things are that the storage facilities in India are also not up to the mark. Many times it is seen that the crops like especially the fruits and vegetable gets ruined away because of lack of cold storage facilities in India. And according to an estimate, about 90,000 crores, that is about 13 billion US dollars. This much amount of food produced in India gets wasted due to the lack of storage facilities. So this is a really concerning problem, and this is a problem that can be tackled by making the supply chains good, by establishing more and more cold storage at cheaper rates, and making the infrastructure also good. Another challenge is that the marketing, that there are a lot of middlemen in the food market. The farmers have to interact with a lot of middlemen, and hence the what the farmers get is very low, and hence they cannot utilize much, and they cannot use much funds for the next year's produce. So these were some of the challenges that Indian agriculture is facing. Now let us talk about what government is doing. So the government is doing pretty good in this area. Like we have seen that many schemes are launched by both the governments, the UPA government and the NDA government. Every government is concerned of farmers, because first there is of course the political priorities, like because farmers contribute a major stake in the voter list. So hence every political party wants to attract farmers, and some genuine steps are also being taken. Like the soil health card scheme was introduced in 2015, through which the farmers can know that what is the qualities of their soil, and what crops are best suited for that soil. Another schemes are also launched, in which insurance penetration is slowly increasing, and also interest free loans are also given to farmers through the Kisan credit card, and also awareing the farmers about the various schemes, about the weather forecast, about the market demands. Is also some schemes about this also run by the government. So these are some schemes, and government is also working in the irrigation sector, where it is trying to build some new dams in the northern plains, so that the canal system gets established, and the irrigation in the farms is more efficient. So government is doing its part, but still there is a lot to do, because there are a lot of problems also. So what is the way ahead? So uh, so there can be some more solutions to this. Like number one is that food processing sector can be given a boost, because food processing is a thing in which the shelf life of the food increases. Because if for example, if a fruit is there, then its life might be about 10 to 15 to 20 days at max only. But if that food is converted into any processed food, like jam or anything else, then it can be used up to months. So the life of the food increases by food processing, and this can clearly compensate the loss of about 90,000 crores that India is bearing when the food is ruined. So this is the thing that the government should initiate. Another thing is that export orientation must be there, because in the international markets, the demand of food is very high. Prices are very high in the inflated markets of USA and Europe. The foods can be exported, and and hence the incomes of farmers can increase, and then the cycle will start when the farmers will also invest in the machineries if they have funds, and the overall productivity of the farms will increase. For that, the Indian government should take some initiative uh, spreading awareness about exporting the desired food crops to farmers. And also the Indian government should try to get the Indian species of food, like the lychees in Bihar, or the some of the finest mangoes that are grown in India. So such things must be have some recognition on the international level, so that their demand increases in the international market, and hence the Indian farmers will export and they will be able to generate good amount of profits. Another thing is that the non-farming sectors like fisheries, like dairy, like other industries that are related to farming, that are done in the villages by the farmers. So such industries must also be given a boost, because the climate is very much uncertain these days. So if for 1 year unfortunately there is a crop failure for the farmers, then the farmers can survive, and they can get the benefits from their other source of incomes also. So this is also very important. And uh, and for higher productivity, the government should promote some methods like mechanization. The government should provide the machineries on subsidized rates. This will be very helpful. Also, the government can introduce some schemes for collective farming, because collective farming is very important. Because in other countries like USA, China, Brazil, we can see that there are big farmers, and if a farmer is big enough, then then he have some funds, and he can uh, use that fund to do the farming, to the agriculture. So collective farming can also be introduced, in which many farmers can come together, and they can collectivize their whole land, and they can buy some machineries together, buy the good qualities SYV seeds and everything together, mm, and they can do the agriculture with the use of that. Another thing is that research and development in any field, research and development is very crucial. In India, we are lacking in research and development. Many innovative ideas can be in the field of agriculture, and if we apply those innovative ideas, if we search for that innovative ideas and apply that in the Indian agriculture, Indian farms, then we will see that the crop production that 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 then the overall crop production of the country will increase, and hence we will be able to generate more profits as a country, and also it will benefit the farmers tremendously. Another thing is that the crop distribution, the crop diversification must be there, because for that crop diversification is important, because many times what the crop demands is is not what is given by the soil, or the climatic conditions. And for many other factors, crop diversification is important. So for that, the government of India should run some awareness program, in which farmers must be educated about the crop diversification, so that they can improve their status. They can improve their status of farms and their overall income. So that was about agriculture in India. It was just a gist, because agriculture in India is a very rigid subject, and it requires a lot of efforts to change the agriculture. Like recently, the farm bills were introduced. There were some pros and cons of those farm bills, and as the farmers didn't wanted them, they were not they didn't come into effect. But this doesn't mean that we should not be open for any change in the agriculture sector, because if such bills because if such mindset is there in the Indian people and Indian farmers, that any change coming from the government is not good for the farms, for the farming sector, then this scenario is not good, because there must be a scope of innovation, a scope of application in the farms, and that's how we will be able to succeed in the agriculture sector of India. Thank you very much.